Okay class, today your SST we will start a new lesson that is on your section 3 social and political life. Today we will learn about equality in Indian democracy. As we all know, equality means state of being equal, and democracy means it is a system of government in which people have the authority to choose or decide for the welfare of the people. Okay. In any society, the interests and problems of vast number of its members cannot be the same. The clash of interest among the people or group causes the conflict and lawlessness. In such a situation might can be the right so to restore law and order, to improve, to ensure cooperation among the people, to make collective decisions and to get things done. A need for political organization was felt. This political organization is known as government. There are three main types of or forms of government that exist in the world today. This important system of power are democracy, monarchy, and dictatorship. Okay, so here it says that in any part of community that is in our country, people have different thoughts, problems, and their interests which are not same. Okay, the violent of the interest, the clash. Okay, clash means violent of the interest among the people or in group. It goes without a leadership. So for this kind of situation, some might be right and some might be wrong too. So in order to maintain the law and order for the people make decisions for the best thing to be done, which is called a government. Okay, and so the government form three types. That is, people form three type of government. That is democracy, monarchy, and dictatorship. Government, it is a system made of a group of people to take care or manage a country to ensure the political organizations. Okay, democracy, here it says about the welfare. Okay, as I've already told you, it is a system of government which people have the authority or choose or decide for the welfare. And monarchy means it is a rule system of a rule system which is ruled by a single person, example like a king. Okay, and dictatorship means it is a form of government which one person or a small group make rules and decisions by themselves. Okay, now what is democracy? Democracy means a system of government in which power to rule lies in the hand of the people. You just underline all this. What do you mean by democracy? Ours is an age of democracy. So ours is an age, is a stage of democracy in our country. Democratic form of government has been functioning in most of the states today. So most of the states today, people are having a democratic form of government, which is ruled by the government, okay, for the welfare. English word democracy has been derived from two Greek words. So democracy is derived from a Greek word, that is demo and krasia. Demos means people and krasia means power, that is people power. Thus, democracy means power of the people. Different writers have defined democracy in a different way, but the meaning in simple words is that democracy is a government which depends on the consent of the governed. Underline this. Simple words, simple meaning of democracy from here. It is a government which depends on the consent of the governed. That is, i.e., that is the people according to Professor, Sille, democracy is a government in which everyone has a share. So he also mentions about democracy, and American President Abraham Lincoln, he defined democracy as a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Underline this, what Abraham Lincoln has defined democracy. Underline all this. It can rightly be inferred that under democracy, sovereign authority means political concept or power or supreme, okay? Power of the state is vested in the people. So it based on the people's choice. Administration is conducted by the will of the majority based on the welfare of the society as a whole. So even administration, it is also conducted by will of the people. Okay, now emergency of democracy in modern societies. Democracy as a form of government is as old as monarchy. So this is as old as monarchy means monarchy was first. At first, during the past century, monarchy system. People follow monarchy system that is ruled by a king. Okay, and right after that, democracy system also formed. So it is as old as monarchy. Democracy originated in the Greek city of Athens 2,500 years ago. Keep in mind this. The modern democracy is quite different from the democracy prevalent in ancient Greece. So the ancient time and modern time of democracy is quite different. Okay. From there, it spread to many countries of Europe. In Europe, it started in the beginning of the 17th century when there were many political revolutions aimed at putting certain limitations or restrictions over the absolute powers of the monarchs and feudal lords. Okay, so here it says that uh, even in the Europe during the 17th century, Europe it started to start forming a democracy for the country, and so the great political revolution, like the political revolution means it is a form of government which property relations are left intact. Okay, in this century, people follow rules very strictly by the power of the monarch, by the king. Okay. The Glorious Revolution means bloodshed revolution in 1688 was a great landmark in the expansion of democracy in England, and the French Revolution was another landmark by which the French people emphasized that the country should be ruled by laws passed by the people. So during this glorious revolution, it was a bloodshed revolution without any laws by the government. It is only following by the rule of power of the king. So even the England and French Revolution was a great landmark, okay? And slowly they try to emphasize that they have to change the system. They have to change the law, which will be passed by the people. So they change, okay? By the beginning of the 20th century, democracy has been firmly established in some countries. Okay, so after all this incident, after all this, in the 20th century, democracy, it has already been started, established in some main countries that are, underline this, England, France, and the United States of America. These are the three main countries which form a democracy first, okay? However, these countries did not allow all the citizens to vote. Even though they formed this democracy, some countries they did not allow the citizen to have a vote. Okay, often women were denied the right to vote. In some countries, only the people owning property had the right to vote. That means people who have owning more property, who are more rich. Okay, so the royal, so they are allowed to have vote only. In the USA, the blacks did not have the right to vote, means like the low caste and all. They don't have a right to vote, okay? That is all over the country until the second half of the 20th century. Therefore, we can say that even those countries were not full democratized in the sense in which we understand it today. So, though it has a democratic system, they formed this, but there are still so many things lag behind. We have seen how democracy developed up to the 20th century. What were the reasons for it? So we have already discussed about the 20th century, how democracy was. And now what are the reasons? It is generally said that democracy has spread because people considered it to be the best from the government. Although it is true that democracy could not have spread if people did not prefer it and start struggle in their countries for its establishment, but this is not the only factor responsible for it. Most of these factors are related to the social, economic, and political conditions of that country. Those people who suffer from social and economic inequalities and not having any share in power see a hope in democracy. They also want to enjoy right, freedom, and privilege and participations in the government. So here it says that until and unless people struggle or face the problems and all, democracy cannot be spread throughout the whole over the country. So after people facing the problems like social, economic, and political conditions problems and all, suffer from social and economic inequalities and all, people started getting to know that now we need a democracy in our country so that people can stay right to freedom to one another, not having a rules upon one another, so that a government, they set a government so that it can rules the people and they can get a privilege on participating in the government and also having a joyful life. Okay, so because of that, people started changing, and through that government, through that democracy have spread in the countries. Okay, recently some powerful countries in the world, okay, WORLD world, have taken on the task of promoting, tax means risks, democracy in the world. In certain cases, powerful countries have launched armed attacks on non-democratic countries. The USA and its allies say that they attacked Iraq in order to liberate the people of Iraq from dictatorship and to establish democracy in the country. Okay, so here some powerful countries in the world, they took the tax, they take the step, okay, to promote democracy in the world. So these are some cases which some powerful countries attack the non-democratic countries, means with armed attack. Okay, the USA and its allies, its agent, they also attack Iraq, but with a reason. Okay, why they attack Iraq? It is with a reason, because the Iraq, they follow the rules of one person decisions and authority. So in order to break down this system, US attack and so that Iraq can establish or form a democracy for its country. Okay, in India several factors have contribution in established democracy. Please underline all this. Okay, several factors of contribution in India about democracy. The first one is British rule, that is the first rule in India. Secondly, freedom movement was the most important influence on the evolution of democracy in India. Freedom movement for to get the freedom. Thirdly, during our freedom struggle, many political parties such as Indian National Congress were formed. During this, they formed a INC. Okay, they made people active partners in reinforcing democratic institutions. Speaking as the president of Indian National Congress in its Faizpur session in 1936, Jawaharlal Nehru affirmed the commitment to democracy. He committed about the democracy for our country, okay? And he said that the Congress stands today for full democracy in India and fights for a democratic state. So this is the first political parties, that is Indian National Congress. It formed and it stands till today. It stands for the full democracy for our India, to fight, okay, to fight about this for the state. Fourthly, certain international influence also help in the establishment of democracy in India. Struggle for independence from colonialism in several other countries also gave a fillip to India's struggle for independence and democracy. So from different countries, they also helped India struggling for this independence. They help, okay, to support for the democracy. The India of democracy developed with the rule of law, the principle of accountability or responsibility, idea of adult franchise, and the idea of political equality extend to economic equality. So these are the democracy development rules about the India. Okay, now type of democracy. Democracy is generally divided into two categories. Underline this. The first one is direct democracy and indirect or representative democracy. Direct democracy, it is a system in which all adult people elect their representative directly. Underline all this. Direct democracy means till here in a mass meeting. Underline all this. All the decisions are taken in general assembly, laws are passed, appointments are made, and taxes are assessed in the assembly where all the citizens attend and cast their vote. So this direct democracy, it is a system which adult people can elect a representative in a meeting. Okay, they can select. Now indirect and representative democracy. Indirect or representative democracy is a system in which all adult people elect their representative through voting done by a secret ballot. Underline till here. Indirect till here. Okay, under this system, if representatives who conduct the affairs of the state fail to work according to the wishes of the voters, they are liable to be removed through ballot in the next election. This form of democracy exists in India, England, the USA, and France. So in indirect and representative democracy, people give vote. Okay, like example our general elections and all. According to the vote, people give vote by their own wish. Okay, they used to look after the leaders if they are capable on helping the people, for the welfare of the society. They used to vote. If not, they are removed in the ballot. Okay, and they can elect in the next elections again. Okay, so until this we will do today. Rest will continue in our next class. I want to give you homework, that is fill in the blank. Exercise number B, exercise A and B. Do this as your homework.